to start part 1 of the birria. So, as I had mentioned last week, birria comes from the region of Jalisco, Mexico. And some of the chilies that I'm going to use, which are common in a birria, are the guajillo and the ancho chilies. And I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Chef Monica with Sunset Vibe Chefs. Thank you for joining. So the guajillo and the ancho chilies are two of like the holy trinity of chilies, along with the pasilla, but I'm not gonna use the pasilla today. I don't want it to be too hot. I am gonna add some the chipotle peppers, the ones that come in the adobo sauce, a couple. I could always add the heat later, but this is the guajillo chili, and these are the ancho chilies, and I have to rehydrate them. So I'm going to remove the seeds from all of these chilies, rinse them, make sure there's no debris on them, and I'm gonna place them in my pot here to simmer for 15 minutes. And while I do that, what I'm going to show you is that part of the seasoning includes some already quartered tomatoes, onions, and some fresh garlic, which I'm gonna put in the oven right now to char while I get this going. So I got that going, I'm gonna time it. And we're going to cut off the stems and then remove the seeds. That is what we do here. So I don't want to get it all in my fingers, but I'm gonna use the bowl here. So yeah, this is the part of getting your seasoning together, and you're gonna use a high power blender afterwards to put all of this in there. And this is what you're gonna cover your chuck with, whether you're using chuck, you could use goat meat, but I'm gonna use chuck. I like the way it tastes, and it's going to slow cook for about 3.5 hours. So I'm gonna have to come back to you later with part 2, but I wanted you to see what goes into it. So for 4 pounds of chuck, I have about 6. Normally you would use 10 guajillo chilies and 5 ancho chilies, and if you want the chili árbol, you could put about 3, but it's gonna make it hot. I don't have those today, and it's okay. You don't have to add the heat. What I did want you to know was that, you know, these are generally mild chilies, the guajillo and the ancho chilies. And the guajillo has a very bright and tangy flavor, and a bit acidic, whereas the ancho chili, this chili, and they're gonna look quite different once I put them to simmer and rehydrate them. The ancho chili, it has a deep, dark, and raisin-like flavor, which is good when they're both together. It's gonna form a delicious seasoning for our meat. Once we cover the meat with this seasoning, we're gonna let it simmer slowly in a slow cooker or Instapot if that's what you have. If you don't have that, you can also put it in the oven in one of these pots that I have there as well, and you would let it cook actually in the oven for the same amount of time, I believe. I've done it before in the oven, but I'm gonna use the slow cooker because I'm gonna leave here and go to the gym since I didn't work out earlier. But this is a little time consuming. Some of the other ingredients that go into the meat mixture will be oregano, cumin, cinnamon, ground cloves, and a little bit of ginger, some apple cider vinegar, and a little bit of beef broth as well. And you're gonna put that in. I throw in a few bay leaves as well. Thank you for joining. So yeah, this is a little bit laborious work I have to do to get these chilies going, and charring those the onions, garlic, and the tomatoes. Gonna give it a nice smoke charred taste as well, which is gonna be so delicious. And we're gonna have some great tacos later. Actually, I'm gonna save some of this for friends because the meat is gonna it's gonna taste even better tomorrow. So that's why I'm preparing it today. You know, once I finish de-seeding these and rinse them off, I'm gonna cover them in water and put them to simmer for 15 minutes. And then I'm gonna get all of my ingredients together and put it in my Vitamix and puree it till smooth. And that's gonna be, you know, poured over my chuck. And just so you know, I got the chuck right behind me. I'm gonna cut this in a couple of pieces and sear it for a few minutes on my Dutch oven before I put it in the slow cooker. And that's gonna give it an even better flavor. So this is the prep work. Just wanted you to be involved so you could see step one, and then later on I'm gonna put it all together. Okay, we are back, and I am searing the chuck for a couple of minutes on each side so that I can smother it with that homemade birria sauce that we're about to make. I already rehydrated my chilies, the guajillo, the ancho, and I'm gonna put some chipotle, and I charred my onions, garlic, and tomato. So let this go. It's always good to char your meat. It makes it extra juicy, gives it a nice smoky flavor. So I'm going to be doing this for a couple of minutes each one. I have my slow cooker ready. I have my Vitamix. And as you can see, I had this simmering, the guajillo, the ancho chilies. I'm going to use some of that, I guess broth we'll call it, some of the broth from there, the liquid, in the mixture as well, in addition to some beef broth that I'm gonna add for even more flavor. So we're gonna have this here, a nice big piece of chuck. I'm gonna add another piece in there. So I hope you all are enjoying this as far as me going live and chit-chatting with you. Okay, let's go for that one. I'm using some high heat olive oil. You can use extra virgin, you can use avocado oil as well, but I'm using the light taste olive oil that is designed for frying and baking. I have about 4 pieces here. I have this chuck, it's about 6 pounds. The recipe calls for 4 pounds of chuck. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe for my newsletter. I include some of the recipes that I've been sharing with you all. Go to sunsetvibechefs.com, and in the left hand corner, click on join newsletter, and you'll get some of these recipes so you could break the boring in your kitchen, right? Hello, thank you for joining. So I will come back to you in a couple of minutes. I want to finish searing this meat. So I just want to show you step by step how we're making this birria. I'm back. So I already let the chili simmer. I'm gonna start putting them into my Vitamix. And as we were talking about, this is the seasoning for the birria. I already seared my chuck, and we are gonna blend this up for around 1 to 2 minutes in the Vitamix. I'm also going to put some of the water that I rehydrated the chilies in here as well, along with 2 cups of beef broth. We're gonna add, I'm gonna have to do this in little batches because I have my spoon. I have a whole bowl full of charred vegetables, onions and garlic. We'll drop one in there. And we're gonna put our dry spices in there as well. So let me just throw that in there, which we have cinnamon and ground cloves and oregano, a little bit of ginger, and I'm gonna throw in some apple cider vinegar. As I mentioned, I'm gonna share the recipe with you. We're gonna throw some chili en adobo because I don't have any chili abon with me, and this is gonna give it a kick. So let me throw a little bit of this broth in there. And we're gonna blend this up. So you might wanna cover your ears because I'm not gonna stop right now. I want this to get going so I can show you. Okay, I think that's good for this batch. Then I get something to pour this into. See, like, oh my gosh, look at that sauce. This is gonna be an amazing seasoning. Put this off to the side. Because there's a lot of it, I'm gonna have to do this in batches. There we go. And because I'm gonna use some of the water that was used to simmer the chilies, I'm gonna put about a cup. We want some of that goodness in there as well. This in there. This mixture. And we're gonna pour this mixture over the chuck. We sear the meat so it could add an extra depth of flavor and like a caramelly taste. So that is about 6 pounds of chuck. And we're gonna pour this bad boy all over it. A bit closer, as you can see. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna have to bring the camera here so you can see all of this goodness here. It is just completely covering the chuck. I don't even have to mix it because it is covered completely. This is gonna be an amazing dish. We're gonna throw in about 4 bay leaves. And we're gonna put this, just put it in there, those bay leaves. And we're gonna have this cook slowly for about 4 hours, 4 to 6 hours. I'm not in a hurry because this is gonna be for dinner tomorrow. So I'm gonna cover this bad boy up and we're gonna come back to you tomorrow or maybe later. I'll show you online what it looks like because we want it to be shredded because we're gonna, either you could eat it like a soup in a bowl with some chopped onion and cilantro by itself, good to go, or we're gonna have it with tacos and cheese and then take some of that broth, that consomme, and dip the taco in it. Yum. I want you to see this consomme, which is the strained seasoning sauce that the meat was marinating in. Demoing how to, assemble the birria tacos. And I took some of the meat out. I have some of the consomme, which is the broth that I strained because we're gonna dip the taco and eat that yummy taco afterwards, dipping it into that. I have some white chopped onion and some cilantro for garnish. So let's get this baby going. I'm gonna put it at 240 degrees and I'm gonna use some avocado spray. Once it heats up, this thing heats up pretty fast. Let's give it a few seconds. I hope you all, hello, thank you for joining. So yeah, I hope you all got some good plans for the weekend. I'm gonna be working on updating my brochure So I'm going to be going to some events next week, and I want people to see all of the services that I have. And just so you know, all of my services are now live on my website. I have a separate service page with the frequently asked questions that people who have never shopped around for a personal chef will ask and want to know. So go there and check it out. You have a lot of answers to your questions. So I'm going to spray a little bit of avocado oil, and I have my tortillas ready to go. Let that heat up a little bit. Hello, hello. I don't have my glasses on. But I see everybody that joins, and I just thank you for joining, and keep following me, liking, and sharing with your friends. So let's put this in. I'm going to get these a little warm. Yes, my hands are clean. Remember, I'm eating them. When I cook for people, I use gloves. So I have the chopped onion. I have some shredded cheese. And I have some cilantro already for garnish. And the consomme, as I mentioned, is here. And I'm going to post some pictures later so you can see the whole progression when I put these video clips together. The good thing about TikTok is that I could go back to my live recordings, edit them, and then compile them into one video. One thing that I was not too happy about, I tell you, is that I had done that cooking show, the cornbread, waffles, and chicken, and I recorded it on Zoom. Big mistake. The resolution for that video didn't come out so good. It is on my YouTube channel, the Sunset Vibe Chef's YouTube channel. But again, it's a lesson learned, so I'm going to be investing some other cameras to do my videos. And I have a new LED light coming to brighten up my workspace here a bit more. So just so you know, this is going to be, think of like making a quesadilla, right, with these birria tacos. We're going to assemble them like this, put a little bit of the broth there. I don't want to put too much. I don't want them to be too soggy because we're going to dip them later once they're assembled into the consomme that I have on the side. I'm going to put some cheese, fold it up a little. I'm also going to put some of that chopped onion. And this is just the way I do it. You could do it however you like. And I will put the cilantro at the end. So we're going to just fold this one over there. And I'm going to lower the temperature a little because I don't want them to burn, but I want them nice and crispy. So I'm going to fold that over. And you need 2 spatulas to get that going. You know, and some of that liquid's going to seep through, which is good because you want it to be a little brown on the outside, but not soggy, okay? That's why we have the dipping sauce for the end. So it's a great meal, you know. Birria also, I'm going to show you that you could serve it in a bowl as a stew. So I have my bowl. I got this beautiful bowl. Look at this beautiful bowl. I got it for $3 at Home Goods. Beautiful bowl. Where is it from? Melo. I'm going to have to tag them. Beautiful. Great for chili. 1-person meal right here. And we will top it with some of that chopped onion and some fresh cilantro to garnish. I'm going to flip this bad boy over. I'm going to raise the temperature. I just didn't want it to burn. These induction little, I guess, what do you call it, surface cooking, they're amazing, especially for these cooking demos. My friend Parmesan, Chef Parmesan, shout out to her. She introduced me to them because she does a lot of cooking demos for her church and also for a talk show in Chicago doing Indian cooking food demos. Very nice. So I love me some Indian food as well. So yeah, you want these to get crispy to your preference. And you want the cheese to melt. So wonderful. I tell you, That meat was cooking and my whole house smelled like birria. So good. And it's spicy. I put those, instead of the chili arbol, which I didn't have on hand, I did add some chipotle chili in adobo sauce, but I didn't put the whole can because then they would be extremely hot. You know, you can add more heat later. You can't remove it. Same as with salt, right? You can add it later. And I don't like to cook with a lot of sauce. I cook more with spice and herbs. Give it more natural flavor and goodness. Hello, hello. Thank you for joining, everyone. I'm in my bathing suit. I was trying to have a little bit of R&R by the pool today, which was nice. I'm gonna do some more of that on Sunday, which I'm going to be filming, but you'll see it once it's done, my Mother's Day commercial, which I'm going to do a paid ad showing how you should be serving your mamas and give mama a break for Mother's Day. Maybe I could get my mama to be the one that is the actor in my commercial. So I think that we'll give this one like maybe a few more seconds. I'm gonna put it in the plate so you can see, and then let it cool off a couple of seconds before I take a bite. But yeah, these are made to be crispy, like you know, quesadilla, right? And you would serve them like that. Let me turn this off. And if you want a little bit more onion on it and some fresh cilantro for garnish. You know, I like cilantro. Just give me a lot of cilantro. And that's how we have it. And voila, you have birria tacos. Well, hello, hello. I am back and I'm even in my bathing suit just so that I can show you the final product, the birria tacos that you all been waiting for. So looky here. That has been cooking overnight. I had it cooking since till 2 in the morning. Then I shredded it and let it sit in all that goodness, all that broth. I strained the broth, which gives you this nice consomme that you're going to dip, or I'm going to dip those birria tacos in. The Vibe Chefs. I was gonna say something else, but it's okay. Remember, this is all improv, right? I don't have a script. I'm just bringing you live into my kitchen so you can see some of the things that I make. So now I have that consomme, and these are super hot. So, I mean, typically if you're making the open tacos, you could put your open tacos in here, which is great, so that everything is not falling all over the place, but you will put it on top of a plate and have a fork handy. And see if I could grab one of these. They're super hot. But okay. So I'm gonna take one. You would serve it like that with the consomme, and then you would dip it in there and then take a bite. Yum. I tell you, there's a kick. With these chilies, I could see how Mexican, the sauces, how chocolate blends in so well with the chilies, because it's just so complimentary. And I could see myself putting some chocolate the next time into the mix. But yeah, wonderful. It's falling out. And the meat is just so flavorful from soaking in that consomme. I don't want to talk with my mouth full, but it's just absorbed all those flavors overnight. It's just delicious. If you want to make some birria, look at my blog. This month, you have the recipe there. You're welcome. That's all I got for you today. I'm gonna finish this birria taco, and I have someone that's sitting on my sofa who just had one. How did you like it?
Excellent.
Yeah, he even brought containers to take food home. Lucky him, right? All right,